what they call digging the bed, and right, y'all can see how muddy this is, and I mean, we're in the swamp, so you're gonna run into this. That's a good thing about these hammers. You can come in here, chop these roots up. I chose this spot right here because you got a kind of an intersection where the road comes out of the cornfield, one goes around it. Kind of got this brush top right here. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna break some limbs off in a minute and kind of make this the only place, this Coyote. If it was in a different area, I'm just using this as a demo. We're gonna go down and set down this path right here and over there across that hedgerow. But I'd want it a little, ideally, if you had like a high bank, you could put this right up against the road, especially on private property or somewhere. So you don't normally have to go this deep, but you can see this mud I'm dealing with. So this is where a good pair of gloves really comes in handy. There's some grams right there. Armadillo bait. All right. So once you get the bed out, so there's two ways to set these traps right here. I'm gonna set it with my hand. You can also use your feet. If you're not strong enough to do it with your hand, you can stand up, stand on the jaws with your feet and spread it out like that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna keep that dog away from me. This is the dog right here. I'm just gonna get it on flat ground, take my hands, spread the jaws like that, reach that dog over. And this can get tricky with gloves, because sometimes the gloves like to stick. Pull that pan all the way up. So what I'm gonna do with that, you see how that pan's at like a 45-degree angle? I really want it parallel. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna take this offside jaw and flip it up. That way if this trap goes off like this, well, it's not gonna get my thumb. So do that again, open it up like that. And again, some traps are easier to set, some traps are harder to set. Sometimes standing on it may be your best option. Take that out, offset jaw, come up. You want to ease this down. This has what they call a knot latch on it, so you should be able to ease it down until it clicks. It's getting close right there. Well, I said that. There it is. Y'all heard that click?
Yeah. Yep.
All right, so now, we forgot. Oh, never mind. I was about to say, we forgot the stake. It's a driver. So what you want to do, what I like to do before I drive it in there, especially on this mud, I'll take it like this and go ahead and set it and see if it's going to be, and be like, yep, it's good. So then I'm just gonna stick this right in the middle of my hole. Take my driver. Sometimes that mud from the last time you set it will still be in there.
That makes sense.
Nope. This is why it's important to clean your trap.
Here.
Oh, I'm good. I got it out. Look at that.
Oh.
Son, you can't even have a trap. Now that takes skill right there. I mean.
Wow. You can't have nothing nice, can you?
You have any pliers?
Make sure your chain is still attached. Take your driver. Drive it right down.
Oh, yeah, that's what it is.
take a little dirt, pack it in. So what I want from this trap, see how it's sunk down in there? I want to bring a little more of dirt in that hole. I don't want it so far. Okay. Now, see how it's a little more closer to the edge of that hole? Fold it out like that. What I'll do, fold that jaw up. This is what they call bedding. So this is the most important thing with these style traps, is if you don't bed it properly, a coyote will feel it when his foot touches it. You don't want it to move. See, I take these two fingers like this, pinch it down like that right there. You don't want that trap to move, because that coyote will, or fox, most of the time it's a coyote or a bobcat, and they will dig your trap up and make you look and feel like a complete idiot. Trust me, I've been there plenty of times.
Most of the time they'll dig it up and it's not even set off.
Yep.
How they do that?
Oh, wow.
It'll be sit on top of the ground.
And you can, if that happens, you can forget it, catching him for a while, or at least with the same bait. So the main thing is, when you're bedding this, you do not want to get anything interfere with these jaws. See how these jaws are, nothing's in the way of them? Because see, I always put the dog away from me, because that trap is loaded whichever way that dog is facing. So the way I want that trap to spring forward like this. If I had it flipped around, it would be trying to catch the back of his paw as he's pulling it off. Not ideal. So get that like that right there. And this, now who knows, who remembers at the last workshop, them talking about peat moss? Or y'all heard Mike talking about peat moss today? Peat moss is essential. It started out in the northern states so traps wouldn't freeze. But out here, when it's real wet and stuff, if you don't have this or a dry dirt, it's be really tough. So what I'll do is come right here, cover this trap up real good, like this. And what I'll even do, take a little bit of this peat moss like that, take a little bit of this colored dirt, especially if this may be too wet. But if it's a little drier, take a little bit of that colored dirt and really try to get it the same kind of consistency. And what you want to do, take the back of your hand very softly and smooth all that out. And I'm gonna do this to show y'all. Y'all see that? That's the pan of my trap right there. So what I want to do, I want to leave that open. And y'all heard Mike talk about coyotes being offset. I don't want to put my hole dead center of this trap. I want to put it offset, because how does a coyote stand? How does a fox stand? Right. So you don't want to set it right here, because he'll walk up and his feet will be on either side of it and you'll never catch it. I want to put my hole right here, put it a little bit of an angle. Really don't even need a hammer. Wall it out like that. Like that. And now what I'll do is I will take, since I demoed that, now has anybody ever drank tea or coffee with their grandmother and she served it on a saucer, had a cup on it? You want this to be just like a saucer. You want that pan to be the lowest point around you. So what I'll do, build this up right here, like this right here, kind of smooth this out. Take this stick, put it like that right there. Really kind of make this pathway the only way that they can get to it. All right, before I bait it, does anybody have any questions? Criticisms, complaints, concerns?
No.
Karen? That'll work. So what I like to do is grab a small twig, stick. I really prefer one that's dead. Like this right here. Anybody want to smell this nice baby food?
What is that?
Cabins. It's called predator bait. Yeah, it's a little like potted meat, kind of. I wouldn't get much more, about a dime, maybe a little more. Stick it down in the hole like that right there. Then Austin's gonna hand me that urine. Always take your gloves off that you set the trap with. I normally have 2 sets of gloves, one I trap with and one I bait with. Raccoon doesn't matter, beavers don't matter, predators matter. You don't want this urine now, you don't want a ton of it. Here we go.
Do you equivalent of a fox running by and spraying it, marking it?
So what you're imitating is something bearing its cache, something bearing its food. Coyote comes up and smells it and wants to stick his nose in there, and he's gonna come up and pounce on it. You mind putting that back in there for me? All right, well that's what we call a dirt hole set. Now you can do the same thing without the dirt hole and do what they call a flat set. And all that is, did y'all go over that with Tracy? Flat set?
We didn't do a flat set, did
I don't
we?
think so.
So flat set is essentially the same thing without the dirt hole, especially if you have like a camera, a game camera or something, you know a coyote or bobcat or fox is using the same trail, you can set it in the middle of that trail, put you like 2 stepping sticks. So coyote predators, their livelihood is their body. They can't afford, this is gonna sound a little weird, but we had a trapping instructor explain it to me like this. They can't afford to misstep. So like, you know, we sprain an ankle, okay, we go to McDonald's for 2 weeks, all right? They don't have a McDonald's out here. So if they misstep or step wrong, that could cost them eating a couple days, that could cost them their life. So when you set that flat set like this in the middle of a road and set what you call 2 stepping sticks over it, he's not gonna step on that stick. So basically what you're causing him to do, step over that stick and onto your trap pan. Another thing you can do with this same set without the dirt hole is do what you call it, a step down set. So if you got like an end of a log, or you got a bank they're going up and they're gonna come up over the bank, or vice versa on the other side of the bank, you can set this just like that. As soon as they crest that, they're gonna stop right on it. So that's kind of the Reader's Digest version. It's only 3:15, so we've got a good hour and a half, 2 hours. We want y'all to set whatever y'all want to set. If you have any, we're gonna go right down. You said it was dry down this way, also?
Yeah,
Semi-dry.
to the end of this field.
So we're gonna let's set 1 or 2 on this hedgerow, and then on that longer hedgerow headed back towards the truck, let's set 2 or 3, 4 somewhere in there. Remember where you set them. I've got 3 hammers. I've got 2 drivers, so we may have to do it like 1 or 2 at a time, and then move to another 1 or 2. Has anybody got any questions? Y'all got to have something.